In the quiet town of Uromi, tucked in the rich red soil of Edo State, Nigeria, lived a girl named Kate. Her story was the kind that made mothers clutch their daughters tighter and elders shake their heads with a sigh. Kate was born into a simple home. Her father, Pa Efe, was a retired railway worker, and her mother, Mama Rose, sold akara by the roadside, just outside their modest two-room house. Life was not extravagant, but it was peaceful. They didn't have much, but they had enough to get by, and their home was full of love, laughter, and faith. Kate was their only child. From a young age, she was different. Not only was she beautiful, blessed with radiant dark skin, high cheekbones, and eyes that gleamed like polished onyx, but she was also fiercely ambitious. While other girls played with dolls made from rags or plaited each other's hair under the mango tree, Kate would sit with her schoolbooks or dream about Lagos, Abuja, or even places overseas. Her dreams were vast, limitless. "Mama, I want to live in a house with tiles and air conditioning," she once said at age 10. Mama Rose chuckled. "Then you must study hard and marry a good man." "No, Mama, I'll buy it myself." That was Kate. By the time she finished her OND at the local polytechnic, she was known across the town for her beauty and poise. Boys lined up to greet her on her way to the pharmacy where she worked part-time. But only one ever seemed to get her attention: Chaik. Chaik was not flashy. He didn't wear the latest clothes or carry expensive phones. He was an electrician, often covered in dust or grease, but he had something Kate admired: ambition. He dreamed of opening a tech repair shop and had already saved a bit from his daily hustle. His calm nature, warm smile, and genuine concern for Kate made him stand out. He would often visit her at work, bringing her snacks or fruits. On Sundays, he'd help Pa Efe with electrical faults around the house, never asking for payment. Kate, I know I'm not rich, not yet. But I love you. I want to build a life with you. If you'll trust me, we can grow together. I promise you one day you'll never lack anything." Kate looked into his eyes. There was sincerity there, even hope. A small part of her heart wanted to say yes, but her mind, the part trained by years of watching her parents struggle, refused. "Chaik," she said softly, "you're a good man, but love doesn't pay bills. I don't want to suffer." He nodded, wounded but not surprised. "So that's it." She hesitated. "I need more." And with that, a line was drawn. Chaik stopped coming around. The mango tree became just a tree again. Life moved on. Soon after, Kate began attending social events in town: weddings, fundraisers, birthday parties for local politicians' children. Her beauty drew attention like bees to nectar. And then she met Chief Osakwe. Chief was everything Cheek was not: a man in his late 50s, wealthy beyond measure, flamboyant and feared. He owned petrol stations, properties, and even a hotel in Benin City. He pulled up in a black Range Rover, wore agbadas sewn from imported fabric, and spoke with the confidence of a man who could buy silence. He noticed Kate at a wedding and sent his bodyguard to summon her. At first, she was hesitant, but after their first conversation, and especially after he gifted her a brand new iPhone the next day, her resistance melted. He was charming, generous, and above all, rich. Her friends envied her. "Babe, you done hit jackpot," they would squeal. In less than 3 months, Chief Osakwe asked for her hand in marriage. Her parents were hesitant. Pa Efe even called Cheek's name once, but Mama Rose silenced him. "Let her enjoy life. She won't suffer like us." The traditional wedding was a grand affair. Guests came from all over: Lagos, Port Harcourt, even Ghana. Kate wore gold jewelry that shimmered under the sun, and her smile stretched wide. Cameras clicked, videos rolled, and social media buzzed. But beneath the glitter, something inside her remained uncertain. She pushed the feeling aside. She had made her choice. Marriage to Chief Osakwe was like stepping into a movie, at first. Kate was ushered into a life she had only ever seen in magazines and on Instagram. The mansion in Lekki was enormous, with chandeliers that looked like dripping crystals, floors that reflected her steps, and closets filled with designer clothes and shoes that smelled of Italian leather. Chief spared no expense. He hired a personal stylist for her, bought her a Mercedes-Benz, and even flew her to Dubai for a shopping spree. To the outside world, Kate was living the dream. On social media, her pictures sparkled with opulence. Poolside breakfasts, candlelit dinners, yacht rides and luxury bags. But inside, something was missing. Chief Osakwe was rarely home. His business meetings stretched across cities and countries. When he returned, he wanted silence, food, and his bed. He didn't ask about her dreams, or her thoughts, or her feelings. Conversations were limited to instructions. Wear the red dress for the dinner tomorrow, or don't attend that event without notifying me. At first, Kate tried to ignore it. She told herself this was just how rich men behaved, busy, distracted, dominant. But gradually the loneliness grew. There were rules. She couldn't have male friends. She couldn't travel alone. She couldn't take business calls after 8 p.m. without his permission. If she argued, he would either leave the house or not speak to her for days. He never raised a hand, but his silence was louder than any slap. She found herself watching the clock, counting the hours till he would leave, and dreading the moments he returned. Her parents noticed the change. "You're thinner, my daughter," Mama Rose said during a visit. "I'm fine, Mama, just busy." But she wasn't. She was empty. One day, while cleaning her closet, she stumbled upon an old wooden box, the one Cheek had carved for her. It was small, dusty, and tucked beneath a pile of Gucci boxes. She opened it and found the folded note inside. "One day I'll give you more than dreams. I'll give you a reality filled with love." She sat on the floor, clutching the box, tears pouring freely. That night she didn't eat. She stared at the ceiling and wondered how different life could have been. The next morning she asked Chief if they could talk. He dismissed her with a wave. "I have a flight to catch. We'll talk when I return." But he never truly returned. Not emotionally. Kate began to feel like a mannequin, dressed in gold but lifeless inside. The mansion, once dazzling, began to resemble a cage. She tried to fill her time. She volunteered at a children's hospital. She started managing a boutique. But the emptiness lingered. Every gift, every outing, felt like a plaster on a bleeding wound. One evening, while scrolling through social media, she saw a photo of Chika. He was smiling beside a sleek-looking signboard that read Chike Tech Solutions. He had made it. And he looked happy, genuinely happy. She clicked on his profile, heart pounding. There, among the photos of devices and tech events, was one that stopped her breath. Chike, holding a baby girl, beside a glowing woman who had to be his wife. They looked peaceful, complete. Kate stared at the image for a long time, then set her phone down. For the first time in her adult life, she felt something deeper than regret. She felt sorrow. The morning after seeing Chike's photo, Kate wandered through the vast halls of the mansion as if she were a ghost haunting her own life. The marble floors gleamed beneath her bare feet, but each step echoed with a strange hollowness. Her silk robe, once a symbol of luxury, now felt like a chain. She made her way to the garden, a beautifully manicured space with imported roses, a koi pond, and marble statues. But it held no peace. Not for her. Sitting on a white swing, she scrolled again through Cheek's photos. His smile had not changed. If anything, it had grown warmer, fuller. Her heart clenched. A maid passed by, bowing. "Good morning, madam." Kate barely responded. The staff had learned to stay out of her way. They saw, even if they never spoke. They saw the dullness in her eyes, the joyless manner she moved in, the way Chief barely acknowledged her presence. Later that day, Chief returned from a short business trip. He brought her a gold bracelet, heavy and cold. "Thank you," she said quietly. He grunted. "I'll be in the study." Kate held the bracelet up. It sparkled brilliantly, yet it weighed on her wrist like a shackle. That night she stared at herself in the mirror, wondering how a girl so full of dreams ended up like this. She thought about her younger self, the Kate who declared she would never suffer, who believed love wasn't enough. That Kate didn't understand that emotional neglect could feel like suffocation. The next morning she called her boutique manager. "Cancel my appointments today." She needed to breathe. Driving herself for the first time in months, she left Lekki, crossed the bridge and made her way toward the mainland, toward Uromi. As she approached her childhood home, the sights and smells rushed back. Children chased each other along dusty paths, women argued over prices in the market. The air, though less refined, felt real. Mama Rose was stunned to see her. "Kate, what happened?" "I just needed to come home, Mama. Please, can I stay a few days?" Mama Rose pulled her into a tight embrace. "This is always your home." As Kate lay that night in her childhood bed, the tears flowed freely. She wept for Chaik, for the love she threw away, for the dream that turned into a golden nightmare, and for the girl she once was. But as dawn broke, painting the sky with soft hues of hope, she realized something else. She wasn't beyond redemption. Her story didn't have to end in regret. Returning to Uromi was like walking into the pages of a long-forgotten book. The sounds, the smells, the familiar faces, they embraced Kate with a warmth she hadn't felt in years. Mama Rose fussed over her, preparing pepper soup and adjusting her pillows every 10 minutes. Pa Efe sat quietly on the veranda, reading his worn Bible, but his eyes glistened when he saw his daughter. There was no judgment in their home, only love. Kate stayed for weeks. She helped Mama Rose fry akara at the roadside stall, smiling at customers who barely recognized her. She volunteered at the community school, teaching young girls about confidence, choices, and dignity. Slowly, the sparkle returned to her eyes, but it was different now. It wasn't the shimmer of vanity or pride, it was the glow of peace. She started writing again. Her anonymous blog gained traction, especially among women. Women who had chased wealth and lost themselves. Women who had chosen wrongly and needed to hear that it was not too late to begin again. Kate signed each post as a sister in healing. Her words traveled far beyond Uromi, offering comfort, hope, and courage. Then one Saturday afternoon, while shopping for tomatoes at the market, she heard a familiar voice. "Kate." She turned slowly. It was Cheek. He stood there, still wearing his trademark calm smile, though a little older and more refined. A boy from the past, now fully a man. They stared at each other for what felt like eternity. "Hi," she said, her voice a whisper. "Hi," he replied more gently. "You look different. So do you." They walked to a nearby bench. They talked about the years that passed, the choices made, the lessons learned. Chaik didn't gloat. He listened. And when Kate's voice trembled as she said, "I made a mistake, Chaik, a big one," he simply reached out and touched her hand. "We all make choices," he said. "What matters is what we do with what's left." Kate felt a tear slide down her cheek. They parted with no promises, no expectations. But the air was lighter. A few months later, Kate moved back to Benin, not to a mansion, but to a modest apartment close to a school where she now taught literature and life skills. Amara, her daughter, grew surrounded by joy and simplicity. The child's laughter filled their little home like music. One evening, as they sat on the veranda watching the sunset, Amara asked, "Mummy, are you happy?" Kate smiled. "Yes, baby, I am. Very." And she meant it. Not because she had riches, not because she had luxury, but because she had found herself again. And with that, she had found everything.